welcome back to another Kids Room podcast episode. And today we're going to be talking about how not to worry so much. Because it's going to be one of my videos where it's like a personal testimony. Because as I'm getting older, I start to realize why older folks started wanting to put faith into us early on in age. Because they knew whenever you got older, you were going to have to depend on something bigger than yourself, depend on something more than your job, depend on something more than your own gifts, your own skills, what you think of yourself, what others think of you. You were going to have to depend on something much bigger. And at some point, you're going to realize life is much more than what you think it is, or your life is much more than what you expect it to be. And, a few years ago, I was literally running track in college, doing my thing, and I can remember the time where we were going down to Austin. Texas Relays, if anybody knows, like if you're in the Texas area, you know what Texas Relays is. And I'm running the 400, as I come down the first 200, there's a certain pop in my leg and a fiery sensation that goes up my calf. And at first, I didn't know what to do, so I kept trying to run, and my foot wouldn't move. It wasn't trying to function, basically. And as I looked down, my foot was kind of just being flimsy, and I had to try to slow down, and I fell, basically, to try to not keep putting pressure on my foot. And long story short, I had to get carted off, right? Teammates see it, people in the crowd see it, family, all that stuff, right? People catching it on their phones, and I'm yelling, I'm screaming, because like the pain, I've never felt anything like that before, and I knew at that time everything was done. And for a moment, it felt like bliss, as if not necessarily a weight was lifted off my shoulders, but maybe a storm has now come and settled over me. So it was a sense of the relinquishment, basically, of what I was doing in that time. That moment, I knew, my spirit knew that this moment in my life was done. This phase of my life was over with. And I was running track for 8+ years in my life. And that's all I knew. That's all I lived for. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in the Olympics. I had goals. I had dreams. And that just led to me doing what I am now, basically. Or 3 years later, right? I had to get surgery. I had to do those things. I had to go through a year of pain. Pain that I've never experienced before. Things that I had to cry every night for about 2 weeks of pain and agony and not realizing and being angry with God. But for some reason, something in my spirit just kept telling me, one more day, Ian, just one more day, just one more day. And God has a funny way of doing things, and he wanted to put me in a sense of isolation, because I knew God, but I wasn't with God, right? I wasn't trying to grow my relationship with God as I am now. It wasn't active. It wasn't present. It wasn't ongoing. So it was as if God had put me in a certain position to where he said, you know what? I have to make a drastic change in your life strategically to put you in the place where I need you to be, to lead you to everything that's going to put you where you need to be at. And even now, I don't understand everything in life. I still go through things, and I probably look tired right now, but mentally and physically and spiritually, sometimes you just feel exhausted and you're trying your best. And, you just have to worry. You have to worry less, because that's just what life is going to do to you. It's going to continuously try to beat you down if you allow it to, but you have to not worry. So knowing that I'm about to be 26 in a couple days now, and I've made it this far, God has blessed me tremendously in many ways, but I had to learn to let go of what I knew. 8+ years of doing something that I truly loved, and praying at that point, I remember praying that, God, I knew I wanted to speak. I knew I wanted to do certain things. I used to pray about it in my college dorm. And now that I get to speak, I thought it was going to come along with what I was doing. It was going to come along with the people that I was surrounded with. But everything changed. And the people that I thought I was with, I'm not with. And they're starting and they're doing what they're doing. And blessings to them. And I pray for everybody every day. And that's what we should all do, is pray for people, not just for yourself and what you want, but pray for other people too. Because when you start to worry less about what you're going through, you start to see what others are going through. And that's the epitome, that is the essence of what life really is, because you didn't come in this world by yourself. I mean, you came in this world alone, but it was due to the fact that God blessed people to have you. And whether you were able to have parents, whatever the case, whatever the situation is, I don't know. But you were here for a reason. And for us to worry and to have fear and anxiety and depression within our spirits, that is not what Christ wanted us to do. So I want someone to realize that if you hear this, like, this is something that we have to move over. We have to learn to skip this in this generation. That in 40 or 50 years, we are the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in our 20s right now. We're in our teens, whatever, however old you are watching this. But we're the future. We are to what is going to come later on. You know what I'm saying? So we have to learn to not worry about what the future is going to hold, because the future is going to be what it's going to be. And God has a way of making it work out for you. So don't worry about if you can afford having a kid or starting a family or affording a house or moving and figuring out what you're going to do with your life. But just live and do the best that you can, what you have. And then when you have the opportunity and God's telling you to move, just do that. Move with the opportunity and not worry about it. That's what I'm struggling with. That's what makes people so tired. It's because you're not worrying, but then life is starting to bring this roller coasters and things starting to happen to you. But then you have to see that God wouldn't let anything happen to you, and He wouldn't let anything be given to you if He didn't want it. So if it's happening to you, if you're going through it and you can't escape it, learn from it, see what God is wanting you to do, and do your best not to worry. Just do your best not to worry. Because whatever you're going through, God is going to double back on you. He's going to double back, pull back up, run the block, however you want to say, spin the block on you, and give you another to replace what you had in abundance and more after that. And that's why I strongly believe that He's doing now for me, and that's what He has done in many ways. And in most times, if you don't think about it, you don't see it, but you know that God is working. And God is working in my life, your life, and things, everyone's life around us. So be blessed. Follow your purpose, follow your dreams. Keep God in whatever you want to do, and He will bless it. He will give you the right things to do. Whatever you once were, let it go and become who you are supposed to be. And that's what we're doing. Continuing to grow, change, and develop. Y'all be blessed, man. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.